Have you ever caught yourself thinking, should I even bring this up? Maybe you're sitting next to your partner on the couch, a romantic movie playing, and suddenly your mind wanders. I miss being intimate, but how do I say that without making things weird? You're not alone. Many couples over 60 quietly wrestle with these thoughts. Changes in our bodies, long-term habits, or even cultural taboos can make the topic of sex feel like walking on eggshells. But here's the truth. Intimacy doesn't retire just because we've turned 60. In fact, with more time, wisdom, and emotional depth, this chapter of life might be the perfect time to rediscover it together. This last 2 tips, 90% of seniors don't know, and they just might change the way you and your partner connect, emotionally and physically. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share so we can keep empowering our community. Let's be honest, talking about sex as we get older isn't always easy. Generations ago, it just wasn't something people discussed openly. You might have been raised to believe that intimacy was a young person's thing, or that once the kids were grown, that part of life just faded away. But here's the truth. Intimacy doesn't retire. Your body may change, your routines may shift, but the desire for connection, physical, emotional, and spiritual, remains strong. And talking about it, that's where real connection grows. Not awkward silence, not assumptions, honest, warm, and open conversations. So today, we're going to break it down in a way that's friendly, comfortable, and even a little fun. Because intimacy after 60 isn't a taboo, it's a treasure. Number 1, try new things together. One of the most beautiful things about intimacy after 60 is the opportunity to explore in ways that you might not have before. The pressure to conform to societal standards or expectations is often much less, and now you have the freedom to discover what truly brings you and your partner closer. It's not about trying to replicate your younger selves, but rather finding a new rhythm and a renewed sense of connection. If the usual way of being intimate doesn't feel quite right anymore, that's okay. This doesn't signal the end of intimacy. It signals the beginning of a new chapter. The key is to approach this chapter with curiosity, humor, and patience. There's no rush. You might feel hesitant at first, but exploring together, whether it's through conversation, touch, or shared experiences, can reignite sparks of closeness that you thought had faded. Sometimes, a change in how you approach each other can make all the difference. For instance, you might try reading a book on intimacy as a couple. It can be a great conversation starter. Some couples find that having discussions about physical connection or sexual health helps reduce any awkwardness because it opens up the floor for both of you to share your feelings and desires. It's a low-pressure way to reconnect. Alternatively, try something physical, like a slow dance in your living room. It doesn't matter if neither of you is a dancer. It's the act of being close, moving together, and holding each other in a way that might be more relaxed than traditional sexual intimacy. It's about sharing the moment, enjoying each other's presence, and reinforcing that connection. A simple, slow dance can rekindle the feeling of closeness without any expectations. If you're feeling more adventurous, consider exploring new forms of touch or sensual experiences. Whether it's exploring the different ways you can massage each other, experimenting with different kinds of touch, or even trying something like a warm bath together, the focus is on reconnecting through shared physical experiences that don't necessarily involve intercourse. The beauty of this stage in life is that there's no right or wrong way to be intimate. Trying new things together is about keeping the experience fresh, fun, and centered on your connection, not on performance or expectations. Number 2, talk about changes without shame. As we age, our bodies inevitably change. It's a natural part of life. Libido, stamina, sensitivity, and even the way we experience pleasure evolve. But these changes don't mean intimacy has to disappear from your life. In fact, they open the door to exploring new ways of connecting with your partner. Understanding this shift and embracing it together can bring you closer than ever before. It's important to approach the conversation about physical changes with compassion and understanding, both for yourself and your partner. Don't blame anyone for the changes that come with age. Instead, approach it as a shared experience that's happening to both of you. Using we language can make all the difference in this discussion. For instance, rather than saying something like, "You're not interested anymore," which can feel accusatory, try saying something more inclusive like, "We've both been through a lot over the years. Maybe it's time we talked about how our intimacy can evolve with us." This way, you're framing the conversation as a team effort rather than placing blame. It opens the door to a much more supportive and collaborative dialogue. Talking openly about these changes can also reduce feelings of shame or embarrassment, which many seniors often experience when it comes to discussing sexual health. There's a misconception that once you're older, intimacy becomes something to avoid or no longer talk about. But the truth is, intimacy remains a vital part of maintaining a healthy, loving relationship at any age. Being open about these changes allows you both to express your needs and concerns without fear of judgment or rejection. Additionally, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor about any physical or emotional changes you're experiencing. It's easy to assume that changes in libido or physical discomfort are simply a part of aging, but medical factors like medication side effects, hormonal changes, or chronic health conditions can often play a significant role in intimacy. Your doctor can help you understand what might be affecting your physical experiences and recommend solutions. From adjusting medications to exploring hormone therapy or physical therapy, there are often solutions that can improve your quality of life and intimacy. Remember, being proactive about these conversations helps take away the mystery and discomfort that often surrounds aging and intimacy. With the right support, you can continue to enjoy a fulfilling and meaningful connection with your partner. Number 3. Use humor and playfulness to break the ice. Let's face it, talking about sex can feel like navigating a minefield, especially if it hasn't been discussed openly in a long time. You might worry about saying the wrong thing, being misunderstood, or even getting a blank stare in return. But here's the truth. Awkwardness is normal, and it's also temporary. What melts it faster than anything else? Humor. Laughter isn't just medicine, it's a bridge. When you laugh together, you're reminding each other, hey, we're on the same team. And when the subject is something as personal as intimacy, that shared connection creates a sense of safety. Start by gently poking fun at some of the realities of aging, because your partner is probably thinking the same things. Say something like, "Do you remember when we used to jump into bed like rabbits? Now we have to stretch first, turn on the heating pad, and be in bed by 9. That kind of humor doesn't criticize, it connects. Or bring in a playful tone. Instead of saying, "We need to talk about sex," you might say with a wink, "So, you busy later? I'm thinking of bringing back Tuesday night romance with a twist." That turns a potentially heavy topic into a light-hearted moment. You're making space to talk, but not taking yourselves too seriously. Another helpful approach is to use shared memories as playful entry points. Remind your partner of a funny or spontaneous romantic moment from your younger years. Say something like, "Remember that weekend getaway where we got sunburned and had to improvise everything? That was ridiculous and kind of wonderful." This sparks nostalgia and makes the topic feel familiar again, not foreign. Playfulness also reduces performance pressure. If things don't go as planned, being able to laugh about it, "Well, that didn't work, did it?" makes the experience more fun and far less stressful. Humor says, "We're figuring this out together." So the next time you want to talk about intimacy, bring your smile. Crack a gentle joke. Share a funny observation. It might feel silly at first, but it might also be the thing that opens the door wider than any serious talk ever could. After all, love doesn't age, but it sure does appreciate a good laugh. Number 4, create a comfortable space for the conversation. After you've recognized the importance of opening up about intimacy, the next crucial step is how you approach it, and that starts with the space you create for the conversation. Talking about sex, especially later in life, can feel sensitive or even awkward, but setting the right environment makes all the difference. You want your partner to feel safe, respected, and heard, not surprised or put on the spot. Start by choosing the right moment. That means picking a time when you're both relaxed and emotionally available. Avoid bringing it up right before bed, during an argument, or when either of you is distracted by chores or technology. A calm Sunday afternoon, a quiet morning coffee, or a peaceful walk can be perfect opportunities. Create a setting that feels warm and unrushed. This doesn't require candles or a dramatic setup. Just a quiet space where there's no background noise, no television, no phone buzzing. The goal is to eliminate distractions and show your partner that this conversation matters enough for your full attention. Begin gently and honestly. You don't need to dive straight into specifics. Start with kindness and vulnerability. For example, I've been thinking a lot about how much I value our closeness. I'd love to talk more openly about how we're feeling, especially about the physical side of our relationship. That kind of honesty disarms tension. It's not a complaint or criticism, it's an invitation. Use affirming, non-judgmental language. Avoid phrases that might sound like blame or pressure. Instead of "we never" or "you don't," try "I miss feeling connected in that way," or "I've been wondering how you're feeling about our intimacy lately." Remember, this isn't a one-time talk. It's the beginning of a more open, ongoing conversation. Don't try to solve everything in one sitting. The key is to plant the seed and let it grow over time. Creating comfort isn't just about the physical space. It's about emotional tone. Be patient. Smile. Reassure your partner that this is about togetherness, not problems. With the right timing, setting, and tone, what might have felt awkward can become a beautiful bonding conversation, one that opens doors to deeper closeness and renewed connection. Number 5, use the tools that support you. As we age, the way we experience intimacy naturally changes. This doesn't mean intimacy has to fade away. It just requires a shift in perspective and the use of new tools to make things more comfortable and enjoyable. While society doesn't always openly discuss these adjustments, there are many helpful resources available that can enhance your connection and make intimacy more accessible and fulfilling at any age. One of the most common changes seniors experience is dryness, which can make intimacy uncomfortable. Lubricants are a simple and effective way to address this issue. Opting for a good, natural lubricant can make a world of difference. It's important to choose one that is body-friendly and designed for sensitive skin. Lubricants can not only reduce discomfort, but also enhance sensations, making intimacy feel more pleasurable. So, don't hesitate to experiment with different options until you find one that works for you. Another consideration is comfort during intimacy. As our bodies change, certain positions that once felt natural may no longer be as comfortable. This is where pillows or supports come into play. There are specially designed cushions and pillows that can help make certain positions more comfortable and allow you to find the right angle for pleasure. These simple aids can improve posture, reduce strain on joints, and help you focus on the emotional connection rather than physical discomfort. It's all about creating an environment where both partners feel at ease and able to enjoy the moment. In addition to lubricants and pillows, there are sensual aids designed to enhance pleasure in new ways. These tools are not solely about intercourse, but rather about exploring intimacy in ways that are comfortable and tailored to your body. From vibrators to massagers, there are many devices that allow for pleasure in a non-invasive and gentle way. These aids are especially helpful if one or both partners experience physical limitations but still want to maintain a satisfying and meaningful sexual connection. The key is to focus on what feels good for both of you, rather than adhering to old expectations or norms. It's important to remember that these tools are not something to be embarrassed about. In fact, they are empowering. Just like you would use reading glasses to see clearly or a walking aid to stay active, sensual tools help you maintain a connection with your partner in a way that suits your current needs. They are practical and can help bring back the joy and intimacy in your relationship. Pro tip: many stores and online shops now cater to seniors, offering resources that are both respectful and educational. These resources ensure that you can find the right tools that prioritize comfort and dignity. Visiting a senior-friendly health store or website can also provide information and guidance on what might work best for you, empowering you to make informed decisions. Number 6. Don't let fear drive distance. As we age, we often find ourselves facing new emotional challenges that can subtly creep into our relationships. One of the biggest, yet rarely spoken about barriers to intimacy in later life is fear. Fear about changes in our bodies, in our desires, and in how we perceive ourselves or our partner. These fears can easily build invisible walls, making it harder to share intimacy in a meaningful way. It's important to acknowledge that these feelings are perfectly normal, but if left unaddressed, they can distance you from the person you care about the most. Questions like, what if I'm not attractive anymore? What if they don't desire me the way they used to? Or, what if I can't perform the way I once did? Are common. These thoughts are natural because aging brings about physical changes that can be unsettling. It's not uncommon to feel self-conscious about these changes. However, it's essential to realize that your partner likely harbors similar insecurities. They may be wondering if you still find them desirable, if their body is still up to your past standards, or if they can meet your needs the way they once did. The critical thing here is to not let these fears go unspoken. The longer we keep these thoughts bottled up, the more isolated we may feel, and the more distance we create between ourselves and our partner. Talking about these fears openly with each other is an incredibly powerful way to dispel them. Instead of allowing the fear to dictate the relationship, make the decision to lead with love and vulnerability. Say it out loud. Rather than focusing on the fear, focus on the affection you still have for each other. Say something simple and reassuring like, I still find you beautiful, or I miss being close to you. These small declarations can work wonders in shifting the emotional atmosphere from fear to love. It's not about pretending that everything is the same. It's about acknowledging the changes and showing that the emotional bond you share is still strong and that you are committed to facing this new chapter together. If you're feeling nervous or unsure, that's okay too. Being open about your nervousness, as well as your willingness to try, can make both partners feel more secure. Try saying something like, I'm nervous, but I want to try together. This honesty not only deepens emotional intimacy, but also reinforces the fact that you're a team, ready to explore intimacy at a different pace. When love leads the conversation, fear has no room to thrive. Fear disappears when love leads. The more you communicate openly about your feelings and desires, the more you'll find comfort in each other's company, making intimacy easier, more genuine, and more connected. Aging doesn't mean intimacy ends. It means intimacy evolves. This season of life offers something no youth ever could: deep understanding, emotional connection, and years of shared memories. Talking about sex after 60 isn't awkward. It's brave. It's loving. It's a gift you give to your relationship. Whether it's holding hands more often, trying something new, or simply having a heart-to-heart talk, every small step counts. Your needs matter. Your joy matters, and your relationship still deserves to thrive. So start that conversation, even if it's a little awkward, even if you stumble over the words. You might just find it leads to something more beautiful than you expected. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Let's build a community where seniors feel empowered, connected, and proud of every stage of life. Until next time, keep growing, keep loving, and keep talking.